Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we're here with Tequila, who is, well, not in active labor. She's not far from it. Her first litter of livestock guardian puppies are due any freaking day. Okay. Trying to keep your head in frame. And all she wants to do is cuddle and snuggle. So today we're going to talk about how to prepare for your livestock guardian dog to have puppies. And just if you want to know where she is, she's in my closet, which is literally right next to my bed. Okay, she's not banished. There's no doors on the closet. It's just basically an alcove in my room. And the reason she's in an alcove in my room is I can put a little fence here that she can get over, but the puppies can't, just to keep them in my closet. Just when they start to walk. At first, they're sacks of potatoes and won't matter. So, we are going to talk about what you need to do to get ready for your livestock guardian dog to have her puppies. If you've got a pregnant livestock guardian dog on your hands, you need to get ready. So, I'm going to cover how to set up a nesting area, what kind of care she'll need in those final days, and what to keep in your whelping kit just in case. You might need nothing. Mama might do just fine without you, but if something goes wrong, you want to be prepared. And we're also going to talk about signs that birth is imminent. Okay, I know, sweetheart. I know. She just wants cuddles. So I'm basically been sitting on the floor with her here most of the afternoon because she doesn't want me to leave. So this is what we're doing right now. And I just want to mention that through most of her pregnancy, you don't have to treat her too different. Okay, you don't need to give her, offer her maybe a little extra food, but she doesn't need too much extra. She'll let you know if she's hungry. And you might want to reduce her workload. So you might want to not have her fighting off coyotes by herself. You might want to make sure she's in at night so she's not experiencing undue stress from having to defend the flock. She doesn't have to quit working entirely. We talked about that in last week's video. But allowing her the chance to rest and relax is a good idea. So let's talk about the final 2 weeks. When your livestock guardian dog enters the final 2 weeks of her pregnancy, which is around days 49 to 63, you'll likely notice a few changes. She might become more affectionate. She might be more tired. She might start seeking out quiet places to nest. This is all really normal. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your pupper. It just means puppies are coming and she needs to start preparing. If you haven't already confirmed the pregnancy with the vet, this is when it becomes obvious. So there's no denying that this lady is pregnant, okay? There's no denying. Even a week ago you could tell, 2 weeks ago you could tell. So at this point, you'll be able to confirm the pregnancy just by the existence of the dog, okay? She will have some swelling and her milk will start to come in. If the milk's coming in, you're literally talking 2 to 3 days, maybe a week until you have puppies, okay? But if you are at all concerned, you can take your dog to the vet and get an ultrasound or an x-ray. This will help you estimate how many puppies you might expect. Are you okay? You just smashed your head into the ground. Are you okay? She's very anxious right now, so she just literally smashed her own head into the ground. It wasn't that hard. It sounded like a thunk, only because this is a very thunky floor. But she's literally done. She just wants to be done. I don't blame her. I've been pregnant. I wanted to be done too. So this is a good time if you really want to, ultrasounds or x-rays, to try to kind of guess how many puppies to expect. It's not going to be exact. X-rays are more accurate. You can count spines, but the way they all get kind of squashed in her belly, it's going to be one of those things where you can't necessarily tell. Okay? You can't necessarily tell easily because there's going to be so many little ones in her tummy that it's hard to count the spines individually. You can still try if you want. Okay? It can be really helpful to know how many roughly to expect, so you kind of know when you're done with the panicking. Because if it's your first time delivering puppies, you might panic a little bit. You might notice her attitude shifts as well. Some dogs, her appetite shifts as well. Some dogs will want to eat more, others go off their food. And she is the I want every single snack on the planet kind of dog. So that's only gotten more intense at the end of her pregnancy here. If you're eating something, she's going to eat it too. It doesn't matter. If you're eating it, she's eating it, and she's just very much food motivated. Vodka, not so much. Tequila? Yeah. So you want to keep your dog on a high quality, high calorie food suitable for a dog that's pregnant and nursing. That way you don't have to feed her extra dog food, you just feed her a higher quality dog food. Make sure she always has fresh water. That is so, so important, especially as she approaches those last couple of days. She needs all the water she can get. She needs to stay really well hydrated. Figure out where her nesting spot's going to be and make sure you have an extra bowl of water in that area. So, since we just talked about a nesting spot, why don't we talk about where she might have her puppies? Pregnant dogs instinctively are going to seek out a safe, quiet, protective place to nest. Okay? On a farm, that can mean a lot of places. It could mean under a shed, in a hay pile, or in places that are not ideal for you. So you might want to have a little bit of forethought and offer up a better place for your dog. Okay? So she's going to have them in the house because that makes me the most comfortable. I want them in the house for the first couple of weeks before they open their eyes and start running around. Then we can start transitioning to running around outside, meeting all the animals and all that good stuff, the fun part. But right now, well, they are teeny weeny as large breed dogs get. But while they are teeny weeny, and don't have their eyes open and can't really walk because they're basically sacks of potatoes, I want them in the house. But you might have a different preference. What you want to do is make sure whatever location you and your dog are picking is protected from the weather. It's quiet, has low traffic. That's why we're in my bedroom. I can shut the door. It is safe from other animals. Again, I can shut the door. And it's easily accessible for you. So you can be there both when she's in labor and to check on the puppies and mama frequently. You also want it warm and draft free. Now, you can opt for a whelping box if you choose. A lot of people on a farm don't bother. You can use a plastic kiddie pool. Those work really well. You can pick them up really cheap at your local hardware store or Walmart, whoever has them. And you can just put it in an outbuilding or put it in your living room, wherever you want her to have the puppies. And this gives mama enough space to move around comfortably while also keeping the puppies contained. You can line that whelping box with several different layers. You can have a waterproof liner or a tarp on the bottom. That's what I've got underneath this blanket is a tarp, just in case, it's going to get messy. It gets messy. Birth is messy. And I don't want my floor destroyed. So there is a tarp under this blanket, and this is one of her blankets. She likes this blanket. And then we have a soft but washable bedding. Old towels or blankets work. You can use new towels if you like. Just know that if they're light in color, they're going to get stained. They're washable. They're just going to get stained. I know, sweetie. I know. It's a tough doggy life. And then you want, depending on the time of year, you might want to have extra bedding if it's going to be cold. Now, we're expected to be quite warm this week. I know, honey. You're almost there. It's okay. She's just decided she's done. But you can add extra blankets and stuff for warmth if it's going to be cold. It's expected to be pretty warm here, so we don't need too many layers. Make sure that if you do have sides, so I'm going to put a little fence that mama can get over. But if you are using a whelping box, mama needs to be able to get out, okay? She has to be able to get in and out easily without too much effort because she's going to be sore from having the babies. But you don't want it low enough that the puppies can get out, okay? So you want to make sure you have accommodated mama and babies. You want to keep the babies in, let mama out. So just pay attention to what you're picking. Once the space is ready, start encouraging her to sleep and rest there so she kind of gets used to the idea of hanging out there. Okay, I didn't have to do that for her because she likes this closet and it had stuff in it before, so she was really, look at this. She's starting to drop hair. But it was already a place that was kind of familiar to her, and she was really happy when I moved all the stuff out because she likes this spot. And when I have all my stuff in here, she can't lay down in here, so she's happy. Now let's focus on your dog's care in those last few days. First, reduce stress as much as you can. Loud noises, unfamiliar people or animals, and big changes to her routine can cause anxiety. Keep things calm and consistent. Try not to have a bunch of visitors that your dog is not expecting or your dog does not know. Second, encourage gentle movement. Short walks can help keep her muscles active and her digestion regular. But you want to let her set the pace. So right now, Tequila, when we're outside, she's outside a lot still. But when we're outside, she walks slower. She needs to sit down every few minutes. Just let her set the pace. Don't push her. Okay, let her set the pace. And if you're comfortable doing it, and if you know how to do it, you can start taking her temperature. Usually, internal temps for dogs range between 101 and 102.5. When the temperature drops to 99 or even 98, labor is likely to begin within 24 hours. You also want to pay attention to her behavior. She might nest actively, so be scratching, circling. She might refuse food or be starving, depends on the dog. She might start panting or pacing a lot, and she might dig at her bedding. She also might want to stick close to you and act really needy. These are all signs her body is preparing, but labor hasn't begun just yet. Keep her close, keep her comfortable, and try to stay within earshot if she's not already staying right by your side. You want to be there, okay? Try not to leave her alone. So even though we'll go over the actual whelping process in the next video, at which point she will probably have had her puppies. Well, by the time I record it, she will have. And by the time you watch it, she definitely will have. But even though we'll go over it in the next video, you should have your supplies ready before that starts. Okay? So get your supplies ready at least 2 weeks before that due date. Okay? Once labor starts, things can move quickly. You are not going to have time to run to the pharmacy. So what I like to keep, everyone has different things. I like to keep receiving blankets, actual human baby receiving blankets, and baby washcloths. I get them in the baby aisle at my local store. I like to have those around because they're easy to use, easily washable, and they're fairly inexpensive. I also like having a digital thermometer because it allows me to take temperatures quickly and easily. I like to have a heat pad set on low. Some people use a warming box just in case I have to get puppy's temperature up. Like if somebody is born not well or whatever, I like to have a way to get them warm fast. I have not really, I think I've only had to use it once, and that was like 15 years ago. But it's a good idea to have something to warm those puppies up if you need it. You also want a bulb syringe. You know those little syringes that you buy for babies, the snot suckers? You're going to want one to get the goobers out of the puppy noses, okay? Just in case mama can't. You're going to want dental floss in case you have to tie off cords. You probably won't need to. But if you do, it's good to have dental floss. Then you also want to have a pair of clean scissors. If you've ever bought a really good first aid kit, it probably came with a little pair of scissors. You can use those for cutting umbilical cords. You probably won't need to do that. Mama will probably handle it. But if you don't have the dental floss, you're probably going to need it. If you do have the dental floss, you probably won't need it. That's the way it works. You're also going to want nitrile gloves, not latex. Just like humans, dogs have a tendency to be allergic to latex. The wrong time to find out you're allergic to latex is when you're in labor. So get nitrile gloves, not latex, just in case your dog's allergic to latex. That's not good. It's also nice to have some kind of a scale. So you can use, you don't have to have a puppy scale. You can use like a kitchen scale with a bowl for weighing puppies, and that way you'll know if they're gaining weight, losing weight, who's doing what kind of thing. It's good to have one. It's not necessary. It's also good to have either a notebook or even an app on your phone that allows you to keep track of like birth time, weight, markings. Now, these are likely to be mostly white. Yes, she has some Anatolian Shepherd in her. Her dad was colored. Her dad was brown and tan. Beautiful dog, because he was. He's fine. Was makes him sound like he has passed on. He has not. He's still very much alive. But her dad was 1/4 Anatolian Shepherd, so he had the color appearance. Very, very beautiful dog. So there is a chance she could have puppies that are not white, but most likely she's going to have all white because vodka is pure Great Pyrenees, and there are no marked puppies, no marked dogs in his lineage that we know of. So probably all white, but it's still good to have an app or a notebook around so you can write things down. What time are they born? Maybe you want to label the puppies. Maybe you want to put those little puppy collars on them or something. That might be something you want to do. You can put all of this stuff in like a reusable shopping bag or a plastic tote or whatever and put it close to your nesting area. Most of the time, Mama won't need you to step in. But if she does need you, it's good to have a few supplies on hand. So keep these tools ready. It'll give you peace of mind and helps you step in quickly if needed. So, I was going to angle this down so you can see Keela's pretty face. She's the prettiest doggo. So, what to expect before labor starts? What are the signs that labor is actually getting underway? A sustained temperature drop. So that temperature drops to 99 or even 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And that probably means 24 hours out or less than. You're going to look for a loss of appetite. This is not true of all dogs. Like, I really don't expect she's going to lose her appetite, but a lot of dogs do. You're going to look for restlessness, digging, circling, really, really, really anxious, making a bed, making it all fluffy, making it perfect, stealing your clothes if she wants to build a better nest. She's going to want to stay in the nesting area, and she's going to be whining or sticking by your side. She's not going to be want to be left alone. Which, do you blame her? I don't. I wouldn't want to be alone either. So these signs can last for a day or two, so don't panic. You're also going to watch for the collection of milk. Okay, so her milk came in a couple days ago. So you're going to watch for the collection of milk, okay, in her teats. Because once that happens, you're within 3 days typically. 3 days to a week. Okay, that's usually not more than a week. Some dogs, I mean, they're not machines. Right? Remember that your dog is not a machine and they're not going to be perfectly on cue with every other dog. That's why it's an average. So you're going to want to keep things quiet, stay close, and be ready when she does go into labor. Don't intervene unless specifically required. Mama can probably handle it. Don't jump in and do something unless you have no other option. Okay? You also might notice that she'll be shivering a little bit. Okay? That's normal too. That means labor has started. Once you notice the shivering, the trembling, that means she's having noticeable contractions. She'll let you know when it's time to go. Don't rush her. Don't try to trigger labor. Just let her do her thing. Let her lay upside down with hair on her face if she wants to. And big sneezes. Very much big sneezes. So let her set the pace. Don't try to rush her. You can't rush her anyway. Let her go when she's ready. Awesome. Big sneezes. She's allergic to herself, I bet. Anyway, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We will talk about the actual birthing process in the next video. Drop a comment below if you're preparing for a litter of Livestock Guardian puppies, or if you've been through it before and want to share your best tips for setting up a nesting space or packing a whelping kit. Any and all information is helpful to viewers. We'll see you tomorrow.